Richard, the issue about the attack on Naimos and all that we've been doing in the fight against Galamsey, given where you sit, what else do you think we can do beyond the Naimos and all of that, water guards, etc., to deal with the problem more decisively?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers and listeners, I suppose, on radio. I am a bit subdued this morning listening and reading about events aimed at dealing with this Galamsey menace. Salom, it appears to me quite clearly that there's a pretense, if we should say it that way, to be fighting this whole thing. And this, I speak not as a political operative, but as a Ghanaian who is worried. We're at risk. If you look at the indications, the medical reports coming, the diagnoses that are coming, the diseases that are resulting in our country, which hitherto were not the case. And we're seeing degeneration, people's health conditions. And even today, Salom, the communities that prior were somewhat supportive of government cause to fight Galamsey are now in support of Galamsey. So you see officials go to these areas and they are rather accosted without the support of the community. And when you listen to the account of the EPA boss, Professor Kluche, you hear that whilst they were there, the Galamsey sent word in around, and suddenly people started appearing from nowhere, and they felt threatened. The power of the state was under siege, that they had to retreat. This thing has taken on a different dimension, one that requires an apolitical approach. I'm looking forward to how the NDC will respond to this, but so far, so their narrative on this is defense, defense, defense. That will not suffice. To say that, yeah, the president, there's an ally in parliament seeking to repeal LI 2462. Earlier on, the tokenist approach of removing the president's power, and then now they are repealing the entire LI. And so that should suffice. And that they have trained some blue water guards, which was not necessary to begin, because the thing is happening in the full glare of community. So therefore, water guards were not going to be able to solve that problem to begin with. And so we have come to a place now. NIMOS has been put in place. NIMOS itself is under attack. Okay, attack not only from the MP situation that we've seen, but instances where NIMOS officials are ill-equipped. There is general conversation of their ability to deal with the task that is put before them. I hear Richard Kumado trying to be a little bit of an apologist for NIMOS and saying that people are saying they haven't been able to do much, and he doesn't think that they are the only people. But they are the arrowhead right now. Everything has been put aside. They are supposed to coordinate this project, and they need to be sufficiently resourced. Okay, so but the totality.
You think they've not been sufficiently resourced in constraints of, I mean, resources we have? Haven't they been, adequately, sufficiently resourced?
Well, you can ask the question, Salom. If they are sufficiently resourced, the boss, okay, in seeking to stop the act for which they have been set up, okay, got attacked by a member of parliament from the NDC side, and that operation was thwarted. Okay, and so is that resource? The resource is not only logistical resource; it's also political resource. They don't have it. Okay,
but the MP, I mean, let's put on record. The MP has denied that he was involved. He said he was there to help restore calm.
Well,
that's his story.
That's a conversation in the court. But what we have seen is that he has obstructed the process, which his government, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, with all intent and purposes, appear to be fighting. Okay, appears to be fighting. But that fight, Salom, is not going anywhere. Galamsey today, if you take away politics from it, Galamsey today is worse than it was when President Mahama came to office. There cannot be any denying of that. There cannot be any denying of that. People are emboldened. The question I want to ask, what makes these community people suddenly standing against the state? Now we understand that there are people from outside this country who are engaged in this Galamsey. They are brought in to provide cover for the operations. So I think that the president, and I believe in my heart of hearts that President Mahama wants to stop Galamsey. But the approach so far, even 9 months, I don't see it to be the solution we need. We need a more expansive approach. We need a whole village approach, Salom, to be able to deal with this, devoid of any measure of politics.
But is there politics in the current arrangement to fight? There's NIMOS, and NIMOS, I should understand, is a professional body with a military head, ahead of its head being a colonel that's leading the whole attack.
Yes.
Do you see politics in NIMOS?
The politics is all over the place. If you let my brother Hamza come and then ask him, he'll be defending. He'll be defending this. We have gotten to a point where there cannot be any defending of Galamsey in any shape or form. So that MP who has done that ought to expressly be sanctioned and punished expressly.
Yeah, but yes, let's go with that for
any individual.
The MP, we have seen the system react swiftly.
Yeah.
Speaker of Parliament condemned it, said he's not shielding anybody. That is one, which we have not seen in a long time.
Good.
Number two, hours after the event, IGP, empowers the CRD to take over investigations from there.
There you go.
Hours later, he's arraigned, he's taken to court, he's bailed. A lot of things have happened. He couldn't have been jailed immediately. That's not how the process works, unless he pleaded guilty. But once he pleaded not guilty, the process must continue. And the swiftness of the process should be commended, shouldn't we?
No.
What else would you expect?
There's some appreciation there.
What else do you expect?
But there's some appreciation there, but we need to go the full hog.
Like what?
The full hog. The bail condition given him, for me, it's paltry. Okay? It doesn't send a strong signal. Because what you're doing, you're fighting this with force on the ground and with leveraging the political optics as well. And so the punishment must appear commensurate with the crime and the urgency. I'm coming with the urgency with which we want to deal with the matter. So yes, is an MP, the actions taken and the swiftness of it appreciated, but one additional step that needed to send a signal is say that we are not going to tolerate this. We put premium, on this offense such that we are not going to treat it with kids' gloves. So the bail condition given him must reflect. So you can say.
So wait, there's a bail conditions should not be a punishment. That's the law.
But it's been used under this government.
I'm getting to a point. The bail conditions are crafted, taking into consideration the nature of the offense. The offense he was charged with was assault on a public officer, unlawful damage, and rioting with weapons. All right. So these are the charges.
Rioting with weapons in what cause? In defense of what cause?
Yeah, so we don't know. But this
what the report we have is that it was an obstruction related to prevention.
This is legal. The point I'm making is that these offenses have punishments attached to them.
I agree, but
I'm just saying you don't go beyond the punishment.
No problem.
So you may question the charges, but for now, this is what we have. Of course, the police may withdraw the charges in due course and then substitute them. But given the swiftness of it, you can understand why these charges will be brought.
It is this kinds of rationalization, and this is the law here on left and right. But that's
the law.
No, I'm not saying that it's not a law. I'm just saying that it is this kinds of rationalization that people find comfort to be able to carry on. And that's why we can win the fight. You have to get to a place where you understand that the urgency of the matter requires a certain approach commensurate to be able to deal with
So
it.
that approach must still be lawful.
It must be lawful, but then I was trying to make a point for you, which you moved away from. But the point is that this government has not necessarily been lawful when it came to the handing out of bails. If that is a singular matter we are discussing, then the government is guilty of
But
not applying the law properly.
Government doesn't give bail terms.
I'm saying that,
Or conditions.
but
It's the court.
the apparatus of state. My brother.
That's different from government simplicity. Government as you.
But that's government. What is government?
In the context of this, government means the executive. In the context of our
But
conversation.
why are you deducing government
in the
now? You are redefining government. Just hold
context,
on. Settle. I am just saying that it is these fine languages that makes the whole fight difficult. You understand? So I'm saying,
but
who is the head of government?
We are educating people.
No, this is not a matter of education. I'm saying
it's a matter of education.
It is a matter of education because we want to locate the education.
No, but you see,
hold on. Hold on.
It is my job.
It is our collective job.
Yeah, it is my job as well.
Okay,
Given
so
the
just
fact
allow me
that
to
I've
make
done
my
a bit
point.
of the law.
No problem.
To be able to tell you what.
No problem.
What is what when it comes.
Government is not. Hold on.
When it comes to bail conditions.
Yes.
It is the state.
So are you happy?
But the judiciary.
Are you happy about a bail condition for an individual 800 million? Okay, and you don't see that to be a denial of bail. You don't see that.
No,
just a calculation to keep you in custody. You don't see that.
We have spoken about that. But
so I'm saying
what
that
was the offense
when we have forget about the offense.
The offense is important.
The offense is
important. Offense in that case?
Look, the measurement of the offense and the handing of bail condition is actually at the discretion of the judge. Is that not the case?
But the discretion shouldn't be arbitrary. The discretion must also be rooted in law.
Okay, so here is the point I am making. Now you give 150,000 bail to an individual who is obstructing a fight that confronts our collective existence. You think that is not existent, it's not catastrophic enough that 150 you give him so that tomorrow he can go and commit the same thing? That he's free moving about. He can commit the same thing. The same conditions can prevent himself and he'll commit it. After all, what would happen? And I guarantee you, this is just optics. So look, talking about that MP, you know that there's an MP, an NDC MP, who is banished from his constituency for reasons that he's involved in Galamsey in our win. That's Oscar Labi, NDC MP. What has happened? What has happened? So the approach to the fight, Salom, is the government is blowing hot and cold. That is a wrong indication to give to people because it makes people feel that if we belong to one side, we have a pass. If you belong to the other side, that's where you are checked and checked heavily. Given 800 million bail, given 150 million bail, 10 million bail, and then if you belong to that side, they give you only 10 million. But what I believe is the course of action we must take. It's for the president. I'm coming. It's for the president to come to the table and declare a state of emergency.
So the state of emergency
that is not negotiable under these circumstances. It is the only singular way to hold things constant and then look at what are the options. If you don't hold things constant and things are this fluid and you are moving about trying to solve this, you'll be chasing your shadows.
Very well.
So the president must come to the table. Somehow, he's been made to come to the table relative to the complete repeal of 2462 LI. He's come to the table with that, okay? So he needs to graduate to the point where he must declare a state of emergency. Nothing else will suffice. The idea that some areas will be designated security zones, you can do that only when you have a state of emergency. Now you can't see clearly to be able to position yourself to identify those places.
But they have the security, they have the security eye so they can see.
But I'm saying you can. But then the difficulty, the level of difficulty to do that in a space whilst everything is fluid is difficult and almost impossible. So what you need to help yourself, and I don't understand why you don't want to help yourself, okay? Because at this table, in order for you to move to Hamza, you have to have me stop talking. But if you want,
which is what I'm trying to.
I'm coming to the point. But you cannot have the two of us talking.
Yes.
So you must come to a point where there is some agreement that I'll stop talking, and Hamza comes. The president must understand that.
Very well.
The
So now, let's have that agreement that you stop
difficulty
talking.
not to declare state of emergency, I can see it.
Very well. Great.